Hello, welcome back to Blender Lab Learning. In this episode, I'm gonna continue with our explorations of kanji and geometry nodes that's showing like a flashcard of the kanji. So yeah, but I want to show you another thing. This is like part 3 of the video series. The other day, I was actually looking back into Geometry Script by Carson Guthrie. So Geometry Script is an add-on for geometry nodes in Blender. Still works with Blender 4.1, and this particular add-on is really useful. I think if you want to train, AI or like ChatGPT, so that it can understand geometry nodes. However, at the moment, I don't think ChatGPT understand geometry nodes. After I tried many times, like if I ask ChatGPT 50 most used nodes in geometry nodes, it tries to do it. However, it gets really weird at the bottom. That means it's not really trained 100% with geometry nodes. You could, however, maybe one day train it using different way. You need some kind of big data. But the nice thing about geometry script is that it has it's using Python syntax, right? And text like this, for example, this is one of my question the other day. So I just basically I want to have this setup: index switch connected to string to curve, and string to curve maybe connected to fill curve, connected to the to the geometry, and I want to kind of connect nodes. That's all I want, and then, and sometimes I need some kind of logic as well behind it, but that's another thing. For now, I just want to connect the dots. So let's say I start with this. So I using this geometry script, right? I managed to create a node tree named string combo, and then all this little string. So this is pretty easy. This node is not connected to anything, but it's creating our fruit names, and I can also generate a scene time connected to index switch index, and while this one are not really connected, like just like the other day. And the only way we can add this is either manually connecting it, or yeah, if we do it this way, it's gonna take a while. um, I actually used ChatGPT and tried to connect it. I end up with something like this. I think maybe my notes or my Python script is not 100% correct. Um, so another way to do it is to actually add item manually, right? Add item manually, and then just put all the text string here instead of creating all these nodes. So that's what I exactly do in this example. So if I run this, so it's recreating the whole thing. We don't actually need the fruit names this time, but it's creating our kanji emoji kind of pairing right here. The nice thing about geometry script is that it's pretty clear. We are creating, I'm using this variable, and I just put okay scene time, and for the second one create a index switch of type string, set it to index number 1, connect it to frame output, and then create another nodes called string to curve and connect it to the previous node, etc. Right? That's kind of clear, and we already have our setup this time. And so this is also because at the bottom here, I have a Python script that that creates index switch items new. Okay, this command is really hard to find, I think, but I figured it out. So after a few days trying to do this, index switch have this add item. So in order for Python to click this guy to actually run this command bpy ops index switch item add, that's actually equivalent to this index switch items dot new. Anyway, and then I just run it, so we end up with this. If I think if I copy paste some examples and then train ChatGPT with geometry script, it's gonna be possible, especially if we copy paste the whole documentations of geometry script. This is all the nodes that geometry nodes have, right? Each one of them will have a socket input and output, and then some explanations of things like parameter that can be adjusted and can be connected. If geometry, it needs to be connected to geometry, string connected to string. This is something that we can use with AI, so it understand. This is the two examples given from geometry nodes, geometry script, like how to voxelize Suzanne and city builder. This is also a really good example. It's a script that's easy to understand, and it's gonna become like a node tree, right? Ideally, the AI also can look at this and then kind of reverse engineering this thing and then turn it back into text. Anyhow, for now, let me actually explain this a little bit more. Let's say with string to curve, if you want to have the size of the curve slightly bigger, like size 2, I can do that with string to curve and just rerun this. Now this is slightly bigger, right? Because string to curve, if we search for it, okay, string to curve, okay, this node have parameter like the font, the size of the character spacing, word spacing. Yeah, this is something that you can change. So with the ChatGPT, okay, let's say we just want to learn this. Okay, 1 2 3, 1 to 10 in Japanese. Create new. Just gonna name this counting. Back to our setup here. I'm gonna use this code. Grab the text name counting, read every lines. Just count list. Copy paste this into this guy, rerun it. Okay, now we should have counting 1 to 10. Okay, and then it's gonna disappear after. What's missing is probably over here. Just use math and use maybe ping pong 0 to 10. Okay, 0 to 9. It's gonna ping pong between 0 up to 10 and then go back to 1. So yeah, it's good. It's working, and it's also giving us, like the emoji equivalent of the number. Okay, cool. So yeah, and the whole thing looks nice, right? Because it's resetting the whole thing whenever we, you know, whenever we want to make changes, we just need to, you know, change the parameter. But this text, let's say the ChatGPT. Let me try. Okay, just copy paste the whole code. The nice thing about ChatGPT, I think, is it can explain a code. Explain for me this code below. This Blender Python below, what it does. I am using geometry script for geometry nodes. Just copy paste the whole thing. The script seems to be generating geometry node tree in Blender using Python. String curve, okay. Working with the text data, generating the switch items. It seems to be, so it's trying to explain the thing. Can you make variations of the code? No, I just want it to display sushi name. Oh, okay. So it's performing something, right? It creates now a sushi list, and then yeah, it's trying to do it for me. I don't think it's gonna work. It might work, but I will be pretty surprised if it does. Save. Surprisingly, right? It's kind of almost work, except for the part. It is actually adding the sushi name into this guy over here. Oh yeah, all right. It magically works somehow because it has some kind of logic. Uh, Perfect. Now give me more sushi name in the list. So ChatGPT, of course, understand sushi name, and we got more in the list. So it's pretty happy with the whole thing, and it understand the logic. Okay, so it does the job. Copy node, paste it here. Size, let's make it bigger even. Size 10, boom. Unagi, il, ikura, I don't know how much. Tobiko, I think fish egg or something. Would be nice. What would be nice if I can, if you render this out or send it to something else, you can get the picture and then make a pair of that. So, but that's for the next, probably for the next episode in the video. But you can see how if ChatGPT or like the AI understand the context, if you train it can make some variations. Instead of sushi name, make the list that pair animal emoji with English and Japanese kanji. Create a list. Okay, list emoji, English name, Japanese name. If we don't know how to say it in Japanese because it's Yeah, it's in Japanese. We need to have like the Romaji version, but I think this is kind of interesting. Okay, it's doing the job. Copy paste, boom. Animal list is not defined. Yeah, I think it fails the job somehow this time. Copy. Name animal is not defined. Being referenced because before it's being defined. I thought oh, I know. There's something with the order. Yeah. This list needs to be outside of the define. I think that's a bit of logic mistake. Okay, now we have it. Same code, but give the Romaji version of the kanji as well. Dog, inu, cat, neko, mouse, nezumi. Yeah, now it's perfect. I think it's perfect. So that's basically what I want to talk about. I think the point is the AI might have some kind of understanding. If you put a big data, it doesn't always give you the answer unless you train it uh, the logic. So it could. The nice thing about this, of course, that it can give you it can explain to you if you have like 100 lines of code and you ask it, okay, what is this line of code, can you make changes, can you give variations of the code, you know, instead of list of animals, instead of list of kanji, give it a, you know, emoji name. Yeah, so I end up with this index switch. You know, it's nice. We can collapse this. But I think so. My feeling is that we can train geometry script with AI with some examples, so it can understand at least, you know, let's say things like cube. If I have a cube, I want to distribute some point on its face, right? We just tell the I want to have a cube, or, you know, I want this cube to be a volume, right? And then I want the volume distribute points inside the volume. This, I think the AI can do it. And I want to instance on points, because each of this, the name of the nodes is kind of giving the logic for the AI. So it's quite possible that you can just ask this and it's gonna try to connect the dots for us like that. The last bit. That's probably something that I want to try to train geometry script to do this for me. Because logically, you know, it's very easy. You can tell anyone, any person with some logic of geometry node should understand this. But in order to create geometry script, you know, you have to reverse engineering the nodes. but with geometry script, the AI understands. Ideally, like I said, ideally, the AI understand the Blender app context. It can look at the nodes. Okay, it understands the name of the nodes. It can see the connection between nodes. So the socket, input, output, it understands all that. And the result is the geometry, and then this is what we get. Okay, and in our case, with the sushi stuff, so this is the name of animal is emoji, and it's a equivalent in English, Japanese, and Romaji. That's so you can read it. Turtle is a kame. It's a fish is sakana. I think this is a pretty cool setup. Yeah, all right. So hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in. I think it's pretty fun actually learning this way. Hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.